Welcome again in to Crisco's Country Life here. We have Mr. Harold here over here at the museum in Point Louisiana with the new exhibits going on. He's going to talk a little bit and show us all around here, and we'll give him the floor. Thank you, Mr. Harold. Here we go.
Very, very blessed to have you here, Mr. Chris, and I'm happy to welcome all your viewers to the Vieux Presbytère Museum, one of the upstairs rooms. And before we even talk about what's on the wall, I'd like to talk just briefly about the wall itself.
Yes, sir.
Because the Vieux Presbytère was built in 1887, but it was built in the style of a building from 100 years prior to that. It's a West Indies type farmhouse, but its interior walls, which you're about to see, are from a Middle Age construction. Here you can see these rough-hewn timbers, right?
Yes, sir.
And between them is, well, this is covered with plaster, but if you look down in this corner, beneath the plaster is bousillage, a French term for a mixture of mud and moss. So the actual wall itself between the timbers is this hard as rock mud and moss mixture, which is really historic. There are only two multi-story buildings in Louisiana left with that kind of construction.
Wow.
But of course, in addition to the museum itself, what is important is the people who are displayed in it.
Yes, sir.
So this historic room upstairs is devoted to the musicians of Church Point, and it's quite fitting that the first one would be our own Irie Lejeune, who has a street named after, actually the street on which the museum is located is Rue Irie Lejeune. So Irie Lejeune was, as you can see from the pictures, a very famous accordion player, and of course he sang as he played the accordion. And his story is that he was blind from birth. So as a young boy, he was not able to go out and work the fields with his peers. So he developed his musical career by playing and entertaining the other young boys as they worked the fields. So he became a famous recording artist. He did not live to a very old age, simply because after a gig coming back from Eunice, he was killed in a car accident, actually.
Wow.
So that's what makes his, of course that was a tragic death, but that he was such a famous and talented museum.
Yes, sir.
So some other musicians that you can see through the ages are Felton Lejeune and Angele Lejeune. And some of these I really like to point out the old black and whites with the old style hats and how these guys dressed when they were on stage. Rodney Lejeune. So there's a talented family. We have here some contemporaries. Nolan and Jean Norman, married couple who were big in the music scene. Miss Jean is still alive, but her husband Tom only recently passed away. He was also a good artist, as you can see from the poster that she made.
Wow.
And also they were very famous for they were the original Church Point Mardi Gras costume makers.
Yes, sir.
Going commercial. Joseph Cormier, also a famous musician from this area. And again, these are living musicians. Patrick and Becky Richard, father and daughter team. Above here, Alexis Jagnot and his group performing. Note the red vests and the really classic Cajun outfits for performing on a fete au dos on a Saturday night. We also, my goodness, going way back, the Guidry Concert Band from the early 1900s.
Very nice, very nice.
Very colorfully vested Reggie Mott, also a current musician. You can pretty well tell the living musicians by the color photographs. Doris Mott how many people were accordion players.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, Pierre Varman Daigle, and of course our own Paul Daigle, very famous as a recording artist, obviously from the CD era, so he's a modern musician as well.
Yes.
We also have some other things that are a little bit off the beaten track from music. For instance, our local comedian, T-Man, who is a comedian who mixed Cajun culture with his Thundercats in his web series and so forth. And opposite him, our famous DJ now, Chris. He goes by Chris Logan is his trade name.
Yeah, Chris Logan, definitely.
Right, but Chris Olivier, who is instrumental in promoting the Cupid Shuffle, which sold
Yes.
was a gold single sales, and he received this award for his efforts to promote that.
Cupid
radio.
is very well known around these parts. Cupid has a lot of really cool songs.
Yep. And going back to the Bergerons here, we have Alphée Bergeron and Shirley Ray Bergeron. And also reminds, when you see this, you see all the names that are not as popular anymore.
Right.
You don't have too many men named Shirley
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah.
And Alfie or Alphée, right?
Yeah, a lot of the older style names.
Yes. And of course, Alpha Bergeron. This was dedicated, this little plaque is dedicated to him.
Very nice.
So we're just full of musicians.
Definitely.
Boozoo, a lot of people, the mayor likes to point out that many people do not know that Boozoo Chavis, who died at the age of 70, was an accordion who helped revive Zydeco, but he was born now just outside of Church Point. So he's ours, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Lee
Okay.
Laverne, another. Rosie Leday, and we have her biography, which I hope everybody will come on out and see and and read all about all these people, because we're just making a quick pass. Jamie Bergeron and the Kickin' Cajuns,
Yes.
again, a local history, a local man of historic nature, a musician. And Travis Mott and the Kingpins,
Yes.
all Church Pointers.
So much talent. From here.
And a great place to stop is with our own B. Cormier. His first name, real name, was Elton. But in addition to being such a good fiddler and musician, he had a recording studio here in Church Point. He was a fine man, beloved by all in Church Point, who served many years as a justice of the peace here in town. And he is one of the most recent of our musicians who passed away. The irony is that 2 years ago, before COVID, we had our traditional French speaking on the porch on April 29th, and he was here that day, and he made a presentation of some photos that are downstairs that were in his home. And the bittersweet irony is that it was the very next day, April 30th, that he passed away.
Wow.
So we're of course sorry about that, but we were so privileged that he spent the next to last day of his life with us.
Definitely.
So this, in addition to all the things that you can see in this room, there's so much more to see downstairs. So by all means, come on by.
Definitely. Mr. Harold, I just want to thank you again for taking the time out. You know, we got the big Mardi Gras parade. Church Point always has a huge Mardi Gras parade. I just wanted to really thank you for taking the time to do these interviews with me, and want to encourage everyone to, you know, come check out the museum over here in Church Point, Louisiana. And anything else you'd like to add in there, Mr. Harold?
Well, you all are always welcome here. We're open every Saturday from 11 to 2. We will also periodically have special events throughout the year. We also have rotating exhibits, right? In other words, to keep the museum fresh, we have a room that's dedicated to seasonal things. Right
Yes,
now
sir.
it's the Mardi Gras room, of course, but it's soon going to become the Cajun Woodstock room, because Cajun Woodstock is the first weekend of April this year here in Church Point.
Definitely.
It's fitting that we're in the music room talking about it. So.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Harold. Hope you have a great day. Thank y'all, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.